Right, so it's event 2 now. Event 1 was the deadlift. Now, here's my first criticism. Most of the athletes look absolutely wrecked for event 2 because having a max deadlift and then going straight into a loading medley, a farmer's loading medley event, didn't seem to work. A lot of athletes looked like they were cramping up in the hammies, their lower back looked a bit tight, their central nervous system looked a bit drained. It wasn't a very good idea, and this is why I think the deadlift championship should be a separate event on a separate day for separate athletes. It shouldn't be something that all the athletes are going to do as an event number 1, and then they've got more events to come. So Pavlo Nakoniecki did really well. This kid has come out of nowhere and just taken everyone by storm. I mean, 37.41, beat Mitchell Hooper, Mr. 5'10", Mr. I run marathons, Mr. I'm a American football player, blah blah blah. To beat him, it was fantastic. To beat Evan Singleton is fucking impressive. He's really good at these loading and carrying events. Alexi looked uncomfortable. I think he had a slight bicep injury or an arm injury. He looked very uncomfortable throughout the whole show after the deadlift, but looked very uncomfortable on this event. And then Hicksy in 5th is fantastic, considering he just pulled 1,000 pounds, went out and did this one. He's not the tallest athlete, not the biggest athlete, so to get 5th is great. Bilton did well, and Andy Black, considering how tall, heavy he is, he did well to finish 7th and beat Pat O'Dwyer. And Jane Flowers did really well to finish the course. Rhino didn't do anything, and not applicable for Ivan Makarov. So this was the event. Okay, you started off with 150 kilogram farmers that you had to carry for a set distance. As you can see, Alexi looks a bit off compared to what he would normally do. And then a 120 kilogram keg had to be carried and thrown into a skip. That's actually very awkward, that increment. And then you had to go back and carry a sandbag. I believe that was also roughly about the same weight, 100, 120 kilograms. Interesting that he brought it up to the shoulders. Some athletes just lap it and then walk with it against their chest like Gavin's doing there. And then you have to finish it off with a tire. Again, the furthest distance to carry, and run with it as quick as you can. Throw it on the skip, hands off, boom, stop the timer. So all in all, that was pretty interesting. I wouldn't say that was the best carry and loading event I've ever watched. I thought it lacked in innovation, creativity. I thought it was pretty dated. I think they could have come up with something far more interesting than that. But nonetheless, these events, I always love these events, so not much really to report about that. There was nothing spectacular that happened except for Pavlo beating Mitchell Hooper on this and setting a pretty blistering time. So anyway, let's move on to the next event number 3.